Oh, well, I guess I'm live here. Am I live? I'm live. Am I live? Or is it Memorex? My channel. See if it's working here. Can you hear me? Am I live? I am. Or is it Memorex? Okay, it is working. Okay. Well, I gave you yesterday all sorts of ideas of what to do and what not to do. And then, do you remember what those ideas were? Write really big, write really fast, swoosh around, learn how to be light, don't use your fingers, use your entire arm. And then I get this pen. This pen is telling me, no, this pen is telling me, use your fingers, write tiny. That's what this pen wants to do. Sometimes I get pens that that insist on being written with in a certain way, and this is one of them. What's it telling me to do, you ask? Do you not have a will of your own, Pierre Gustafson, you ask? Are you so pliable that a pen can make you do what you want to do? If the pen said to go jump off a cliff, would you? Well, if this pen told me to jump off a cliff, I might weigh the pros and cons. So this pen I got on eBay yesterday, or it arrived yesterday, and it had a broken feed, and I eventually found a feed that fit. What alliteration was that? I found a feed that fit. Fred found the feed that fit the fountain pen. Anyway, so the nib is, I wouldn't call this fine. I would call this sort of broadish as far as nibs go, on their finest stroke anyway. And I haven't filled it because it's an eyedrop filler and I don't have the time to deal with that right now. But what it wanted me to do is to write letters that are sort of this big. Minimal, Minimal, and it wants to sort of write vertically, more vertically than at a slant. There's something about the nib that, and the way the pen functions, the way the nib wants to be on the paper, that it's making me want to write like this. Sometimes stub nibs want me to do that, so maybe this has a stubby nib-nish to it, nibness to it. It's very interesting. It also, it's flexible enough, or maybe more flexible than I normally might like. God, it's so difficult. But it sort of wants me to press down immediately and sort of get the broadest line I can get right away, and then immediately go back to thin. So this wants me to write this size. So it's just so interesting what they want. Hello, Clemente Santos V. Is your father named Clemente Santos IV? So this pen wants me to write in this way. Now I can force it to do other things, but this one wants me to do this. And it's really interesting that that's what it wants. Now whether it would tell you to write that way is another question. But it's so interesting that the pen has such control over me with no spine, no will of my own. So this, completely negates what I was suggesting you do yesterday. I mean, you can do the big swoopy things and that move your fingers and move your arm. You can do that with this pen too, but this one, when all is said and done, this one wants to stay in the lines and wants to write downstroke, upstroke, downstroke, wants to write with this fully flexed range. Can I write differently? Can I write without pressing down? Commonwealth. Normally I would do Commonwealth with only the LTH thick, but this one is wanting me to sort of make all of the MONWEALTH. It sort of wants that. So I class this into that stub range of pens. Though, this nib doesn't look like a stub. I would sort of, in my mind, this wants to be a stub. Wants to write vertically, wants me to use my fingers, wants me to write small. Isn't that interesting? I find it interesting. Do you find it interesting? I just bought this pen yesterday. Was this the one I bought? Yes. This one doesn't want to write at all. This is a Triumph nib, Schaefer Triumph nib. Very, very firm. Doesn't have any real pizzazz in how it writes. But it probably does have a sweet spot in its little head in terms of what sort of lettering it wants to make. This one isn't speaking to me. It's not telling me anything. Come on, I'm listening. Tell me what you want. Part of it might be because I know that I can't fix this pen. It can be fixed by some people, but I don't know how to do it. And maybe that's what's keeping me from falling in love with it. If I know I can't fix it. Let me try another one now that I'm sort of in being told what to write. Here's a little this is similar to the Waterman that I've started with. This one's sort of see, this one sort of wants me to write bigger. It's somewhat stubby too, but there's a roundness to the shape of the nib that makes it sort of pushes me sideways more. This one sort of wants me to keep doing this. Oh God, they're so different. They are so different. I ran across a bunch of in a drawer that I thought I had looked at. I had a bunch of these Taper-Rite pens that have broken ends, even though this one still has its price sticker on it. Never sold, presumably, but started to decay, and I thought, well, I can put a sack in it. And I'm trying to soak it so I can take it apart, put a sack in it to make it work. And I thought, well, I'll try Try some of these pens. What does this sticker say? Medium, says medium flex, $8.75 this cost when it was new. Take some of my new black ink that I got from, yeah, see this one would be good for that first exercise I was telling you about yesterday, where you fill up the page. It's subtle flexibility that it has sort of functions best, well, in my hand, doing that way. Now, can I write this way vertically in little tiny bits? I can, but it's not flexible enough to work well. It's sort of, it's all too much the same, and I know that it can be very fine, where this one can't be fine. Well, I guess it can if I really take it out on the highway, but again, this one, the range between the ups and downs is strong enough in this one that I don't have to take it out on the highway. So anyway, it's all fascinating. So anyway, back to the lesson for today is you might have a pen that wants you to do this, take up the whole space and scribble and have fun. And then there's other ones like this one, which might just want you to stay indoors. I mean, you can, I mean, this one again, I'm writing vertically. It wants me to do that, but I can make it go this way if I want, but it sort of feels like it wants to do this. So listen to your pen. I guess that's the message all the time. Let the pen direct your hand and your ideas. Bye.